Life of a JSP file in Jakarta server pages. Here you can see life of a JSP file. Here the JSP container. Here the translation occurs at this point if JSP has been changed or is new. If not, translation is skipped. So this is translation passed, and if not, this is Jakarta servlet, formerly a Java servlet. A Jakarta servlet possesses or stores a Java class in Jakarta EE that conform to Jakarta Servlet API. A standard for implementing Java class that responds to requests. Servlet could in principle communicate over any client server protocol, but they are most often used with the HTTP. The servlet is often used as shorthand for HTTP servlet. Thus, a software developer may use a servlet to add the dynamic content to a web server. Using Java platform. The generated content is commonly HTML. But may be other data such as XML or more commonly JSON. Servlets can maintain state in a session. Servlet can maintain state in session variables across many server transactions by using HTTP cookies or URL mappings. Jakarta Servlet API has to some extent been superseded by two standard Java technologies for web services: the Jakarta RESTful Web Services JAX-RS 2.0, useful for AJAX, JSON, and REST services, and the Jakarta XML Web Services JAX-WS, useful for SOAP web services. To deploy and run a servlet, a web container must be used. A web container, also known as a servlet container, is essentially the component of a web server that interacts with servlets. The web container is responsible for managing the lifecycle of servlets, mapping a URL to a particular servlet, and ensuring that the URL request has the correct access rights. The servlet API contains in the Java package hierarchy javax.servlet defines the expected interactions of the web container and a servlet. A servlet is an object that receives the request and generates the response based on the request. The basic servlet package defines Java objects to represent servlet requests and responses, as well as objects to reflect the servlet's configuration parameters in the execution environment. The package javax.servlet.http defines HTTP specific subclasses of generic servlet elements, including session management objects and that track multiple requests and responses between web server and the client. Servlet may be packaged in a WAR file as a web application. Servlets can be generated automatically from Jakarta server pages, JSP by Jakarta server pages compiler. The difference between servlets and JSP is that servlets typically embed HTML inside Java code, while JSPs embed Java code in HTML. While the direct usage of servlets to generate HTML has become rare, the higher level of MVC web framework in Jakarta EE, JSF, still explicitly uses the servlet technology for the low-level request response handling via the Faces servlet. A somewhat older usage is to use servlets in conjunction with JSP in a pattern called Model 2, which is a flavor of Model View Controller. The current version of servlet is 5.0 at this moment. Here you can see JSP containers. Here you can see the JSP request is passed from client to JSP page.jsp, and there are the if the translation occurs at this point, if JSP has been changed or is new, then JSP page is connected to JSP translator here, for example Tomcat, and JSP translate is connected to JSP source code Java, and JSP translate is connected to servlet source code Java. Servlet source code is connected to Java compiler embedded server. Java compiler is connected to Java server class and Java JSP translator, and servlet source code and Java compiler and server class is inside translation base, and server class is connected to JRE. JRE is connected to text buffer in memory. JRE and text buffer is connected to execution pace, and text buffer is connected to client. Response is passed from text buffer to client. And here if not, translation is skipped. Here that if JSP has not been changed or not new, then translation is skipped, and then JSP page.jsp is connected to text execution page here, and it's connected to text buffer here in memory, and text buffer is connected to client here. Response is part from text buffer in memory to client. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.